Get started on the work session that manager already said he'd be here in just a minute.
Yeah. Get going. We got big items tonight, don't we? The pay scale and
Uh, I was, point a couple of things out on the profit and loss. Um, The end of last year's budget, our total income last year was just over 2.3 million. And our total expenses were just under, or just over 2 million. We had about $316,000 revenue last year. So pretty happy to say the last 2 years I've been in charge of the budget. We've had a pretty decent surplus. I see this budget year being a little different with some equipment requests, but, um, good to see. But, I'm just gonna try to hit the highlights going down the chief's report because it mirrored the agenda pretty close. You have the activity breakdown. I did want to point out with the transition.
about third page.
Yeah, the transition from ESO to Firstly for our EMS reporting. We had a little bit of a hiccup in our exports to the billing company, in August. So it took us about the middle of September to get all that straightened out. So we may see what looks like a decrease in EMS income for a month or two, but it will right itself now that we've gotten all those runs exported. So, just wanted to point that out. As far as the pay scale, reached out to Vice Chairman Blanchard asked me to reach out to a consulting firm and do some research on some consultants. So I contacted our accountant, and then, like I mentioned in the last meeting, I know Pike Road had done multiple pay studies in the last several years, so I reached out to them. Our accountant recommended the same firm that Pike Road had used, which was Condrey and Associates. Y'all have the proposal. They have a very extensive client list here in Alabama, but not just in Alabama, across the country. If I remember right, I believe it's over 800 organizations that they've worked with to do this type of work. So they were very confident they could do the workforce. They anticipate a turnaround time of about 3 months to do the pay study, job descriptions and employee appraisals, process. And gave us a quote of $14,500 to do that work. Which is a little bit less than what they typically charge. So they gave us a little bit, right? So we didn't have that budgeting for this year, but, RSA changed our employer contribution, which saves us $14,000. So as it relates to the budget, really only gonna cost us about $500. We already had that 14 grand, allocated for something else. So
So are you saying that the proposal that you initially provided us with is not what we're looking at now? We're waiting.
I would say go with let the consultants do the work.
Yep.
My initial attempt was trying to do what they're gonna do and save 15, 14, 15, even $20,000. But since the RSA contributions have changed, Shane made a good point, the unbiased approach that they would
Yes.
bring to the table.
Yeah.
They also reassured me that, during their research, they're not gonna recommend that we cut somebody's pay, which was a big concern of mine. So they're gonna propose a couple of different options as far as implementation to ensure that we, maintain our budget. They're not come in, and I'm just throwing numbers, say had $1 million in payroll, they come in and say, based on, your pay rate should be 1.5. They're gonna come in and have plans to implement that scale to maintain
I
budget.
feel better about that. Thank you for recommending that.
Yeah.
Well, it's transparent for our community, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It ain't like, well, we just come up with that, we had a third party. They're
Good old
not
boys.
Yeah,
Yeah. that
Huh?
was one.
How do they typically do a place that, we've never done, I know, but in the industry, Kenny, you've got.
Oh, yeah. Fire departments do it all the time.
yeah.
Cities do it all the time.
How do you do it? What I'm saying is how soon will that expense come up again? 2 years, 3 years,
Oh.
5 years? Like,
Probably 10, 15.
okay, that was my question.
No, not even then.
Yeah, it has to be.
5 years.
Because you base
I
it.
went to the next one in 2017 and they just finished it.
So how many years apart?
1.5, so what?
Oh, 8 years. Okay.
Yeah, 3 and 8 years.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Which
every other.
the consultants bring the point, your cost of living, inflation, all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps you current.
Right. I think 3 or 4 years, if I remember right, is what
Right.
they were saying. But even then, the cost shouldn't be $15,000.
Right.
Even if it's reworking, adjusting.
Right.
Numbers,
Probably less, more than initial time, right?
yeah. Spitballing, I would $5,000-6,000.
Yeah, cause they already know our department or whatever, and then they can just say, hey, here's inflation, here's cost,
Correct.
That sounds like money well spent.
Exactly.
Right.
You would like job.
You're just adjusting pay plan, that, you're not reading on job description.
Right.
Job description,
Yeah.
employee evaluations,
Yeah.
all in that. first.
Oh, says how much good do we get out of, you say 3 to 5 years, that answers my question.
Yeah.
What concerned me about it, and you convinced me which way to go, was what's the public gonna say? When they see this right here, are they gonna come out
Oh,
of us?
yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, this right here helps justify.
Exactly.
Well, and the timing was, they didn't be even more comfortable with it, because about the time, no sooner did their quote hit my inbox, did we find out that RSA changed their employee contribution. Like within 24 hours, both of those things happened. And for me, it went, well.
Yeah.
There's your opportunity.
So just solidify.
We have a significant cost of turnover. We can retain people by spending
We're
$15,000.
gonna save that 15,000.
Right, because that's what he's saying.
You don't have to retrain somebody because they left, go somewhere for.
Right, that was their question. Who's your competition? What organizations are around you where these people are gonna go work instead of come working for you?
That's all happened with my son. He was at the highest paid police agency in Jefferson County, and everybody else caught up with it, but they're not able to.
Keep up and folks are jumping.
So they're, no, folks aren't jumping. They're not able to steal, because they're not able to recruit from other places as much as they used to.
Or even new recruits?
Yeah, they didn't take new recruits.
Yeah, you can't get in.
You had to lateral transfer, because we only take lateral transfers from other departments, and I've seen how them being the best in Jefferson County has made everybody else pull themselves up, and they were stealing their best cops for a while.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be at the bottom. We want to be the ones that retain people instead of the ones that you start over there and then you go to block. Well, I can get a lot of new bail,
I think.
I think so too.
That's what it was in Jefferson County for 3 or 4 years. I didn't see anybody to put scat.
So going down to new business. Let's move on.
So,
Through this,
New business, you got the hardship request, it wasn't done, it's on a separate sheet of paper, it should have been on the front, but it matches what I have summarized in the chief's report. We received 5, 2 did not provide sufficient documentation, so we requested more information from them before we bring them to the board, which is our typical practice. But of the 3 that you have before you tonight, 2 of them do not meet the criteria. one of them does. So, Western Child approved the one that does meet the criteria. So the,
Will you tell us though? I mean, do we need to know the criteria? Do we need to know the situation before we approve it?
So we've used the HUD guidelines ever since the district was created. And they provide us proof of income. We compare that to the HUD guidelines. And then this is the list that we've presented for the last several years. So the goal is for the customer to keep that information
Private.
private.
Yeah.
Whereas if we start putting things on y'all's table, there,
It makes sense.
it marks the water of what we can release.
Yeah,
So
I got
try to protect our customers as best we can.
you. Sounds good.
The capital equipment purchases, so y'all authorized me at the last meeting to kind of get some information, get on a list kind of thing. So got some information on the vehicle. McSweeney Auto Group is the authorized Chevrolet dealer for the Alabama Division of Procurement. So that's the state bid list is what it is for four-wheel drive Tahoe. Their price is $51,629.08. That includes about $3,100 in upgrades to the vehicle, which is four-wheel drive, and then some pre-wiring to the vehicle to simplify the installation of emergency lights and things like that when it gets to that vendor. They use a company, Mission Vehicles, out of Pell City to do installs for them. Based on my experience the last couple of years, finding a company that does good work for a decent price around here. Everybody's going to the Birmingham area or Dothan, to do that type of work. So I've talked to Mission, and they provided a quote of about $20,000, just 20 and some change to do the emergency lights, brush guard, center console, and then, a command box in the back. So,
That good radio.
sorry,
That good radio.
no, sir, it does not. Radios is going to be a different topic for a different day, regardless.
I know we're in transition, that's really happening.
I don't anticipate the cost of radios based on my conversations with the vendor to exceed $7,000. The plan for radios is to install multiple in this vehicle, given the transition we're in, so that regardless, future, we'll have compliant radios, but then being able to do some things with those. Vehicle is in service. As far as funding, my recommendation would be to use one of the CDs, include the purchase in our operating budget. It is a budgeted item. We also have cash on hand where we can purchase the vehicle and not touch the CDs. It's 100% up to y'all. I'll be honest, I'm able to. So,
The bill sheet.
any questions on these?
No, I mean, you need a command post. but-
Well, it keeps the life cycle of place going. So, what you looking for?
The bill
Good.
sheet
It should be towards the back. I think.
for the vehicles, spec sheets.
Yeah, it starts on page
There it
55.
is. There you go.
So the SCBA purchase, that was another budgeted item. The original plan was to do that later in the year. Found out multiple fire departments in the state are getting grants and are purchasing air packs. So I reached out to the vendor to see, hey, if we jump in on this purchase, would that save us cost per unit? He said, absolutely. To the tune of about $45,000 is what it would save us. So EEP is a listed vendor through the HGAC purchasing group. We are for that purchasing group, so being a part of that purchasing group takes away the requirement to bid, this purchase. So that's why I said we should be able to make the purchase
For the time
for the air packs.
of it.
The top of everything's on state bid. With that, the
You don't have to be.
$20,000 less than the requirement.
So, with the SCBA's, you have the quote towards the back of your packet, from EEP starts on.
We'll try back.
$68 has the quote from EEP. Which I went ahead and got 3 financing options. 2 of them are from EEP. One is from, Community Leasing Partners, who we have financed a lot of equipment with in the past.
Looking at the financing options, I say the interest is a little higher with EEP.
But the annual payments are a little lower. So, if y'all want to stick with Community Leasing Partners, they're $300 different. I'll leave that to y'all. So, but none of the financing options include any money down. So for budgeting this year, I included an annual payment plus $50,000 down. So I put about 140 in this year's budget for air packs. My personal opinion, let's finance it with nothing down. And down the road, if we want to put more towards the principal, then
Pay it off.
we'll just pay it off. We'll go back and make an additional principal this year. The only other question I did not include in the quote was a rip pack. So the packs that we have quoted are a little different than the ones we got in the past. The ones we currently have a buddy breather line on the waistband. We did not include that because you don't use it. So, I also look at that as potential another form of failure with the maintenance of it. But in talking to another fire department today, who has a quote for the rip packs, it's less than $4,000. I'll say that, 3,000 and something. I didn't have that included in the quote. 4,000 is less than what required board approval, but given if we buy it, I would include it in probably in that financed amount, unless y'all wanted me to make a separate purchase. I would request that we do the quote plus 1 rip pack.
Or the buddy breather.
The rip pack would have the bag, the cylinder, the mask, the regulators, all the.
Yeah.
So much on
We have one.
Don't use that guy.
No reuse MSA.
But it would be, contained within a bag. And I think one thing that we have to maintain versus 45 of those lines.
Yep.
Be my suggestion. I apologize for not having that, the quote, that was kind of a late afterthought. So the only other thing that requires action tonight is elections. I know I'm skipping a couple on the new business, but per our bylaws, we're required to do elections every October. So we'll need to make an election for the chair, vice chair, and treasurer. However, y'all want to proceed with that. So going backwards from that, the fire districts is the easier one to talk about. So Salem is our neighboring department here in Lee County. They previously had an agreement with Crawford, where Crawford would answer part of their district. They're now going through the process to nullify that agreement, which we believe the agreement was never valid to begin with, based on state law. So in that whole conversation, the whole disruption next door kind of thing, I was asked about expanding. So, well, don't know how that works. So based on my research of what the state law says as it pertains to our type of fire district, the board can pass a resolution to expand the district. That resolution would then have to be approved by the governing bodies, which would be the county commission and city council. I would also understand that to be, if the county commission makes a request, it would have to come to this board for a resolution to be drafted and then return back to the commission. All I'm really looking for tonight is a discussion of, is this something y'all want me to research a little bit more? You know, do we want to sit on it a little bit? The question was posed to me. I didn't really know how to answer. So I said, well, I'll bring it. See what it says.
Who posed the question?
Yeah.
So you're talking about taking over some of their territory
Yeah.
or mutual aid to some of their territory?
Take it over. This is not the first time we've received a request. We've had several citizens from Shadow come up here begging us to kind of incorporate them into our district.
Is Shadowwood not in our district?
Part of it is, part of it isn't.
You talking about this one? Shannon?
So what part of the
Okay.
Salem area?
Okay.
I'm guessing 169 area up that way towards Crawford or?
So my response to the county commission was short. I'm okay with it as long as it's within 5 miles of one of our fire stations.
Exactly.
Our 5 miles stops about a half a mile past the first 241. So, you know, 241 makes that loop
Yep.
to the north. Stops about half a mile past it, goes up 241, about a half, 3/4 of a mile. Goes down 201 to where the road curves back to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and then everything back this way. So it's a decent amount of homes. I would say it's under 1,000. I don't know an exact number. I haven't counted, but, that's kind of where I left it with the county commission was, unless y'all want to build us another fire station.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, because what's the revenue we're gonna pick up for in that area that we
I'd have-
incorporate, you know,
That's
is
part
it
of
gonna
the
be worth
That
that?
would have to,
Yeah.
right.
That would be part.
Do they have any existing fire stations there? In that area?
There's a Salem station on 169.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one in Salem proper up here,
There's two.
too.
Salem's got.
That's one right there by that mill, right?
Yeah,
that
there's one
yeah,
at
Harvard
the
Mill.
Deli, and then
Yeah.
there's one over on one.
Okay, so they have two
Mm-hmm.
in that
So
district.
would it include Dudley?
There's more conversations that have been mentioned that, you know, I pretty much said, I don't know about that. I spoke for y'all. So, probably down that way, the way it works right now anyway. I would say probably a third of the time, we're dispatched to that area and we have to tell them, hey, that's not ours. It's in the right fire department. I don't think the call volume would be overtaxing on us. It would definitely be an increase. We're maybe talking 200 calls a year. On top of 3,100 that we're answering now. So not a huge increase.
Now, is that just fire or our ambulance service also?
If
I mean, if we take it in, we're doing both,
We're gonna
right?
do both, yeah.
But the question that I would pose to y'all would be developing a process for us to follow to expand if somebody asks, is I guess what I'm specific.
Annexation.
Mhm.
That's the best way to word it without it being an annexation. So, and the only reason I steer away from the term annexation is that's typically limited to cities. And we're not trying to pull people from the county to the cities. The only reason I would kind of steer away from that. So I just I didn't want to spend a lot of time researching and developing a process if y'all weren't interested. I do think eventually we'll have to come to some. So.
Read it, so we start a meeting and then.
We can, that's up to you. I'm here for y'all. I get paid by.
The only other thing, just to, can you briefly, you mention what you're talking about on the fire things? Because we're not trying to make decisions, just open the door.
That's going, that's,
I mean,
that's a little bit more than 10 days.
I just.
Yeah. If you're good with it, I would prefer to speak during the meeting.
It's not a problem. All right,
Ready?
we're ready.
Sure. That good.
Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this department. We thank you for our devoted employees and firefighters, EMS. Father, we just ask that you give us wisdom to guide this department in your name, your favor. And Father, we thank you for loving us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
It's 7:30 PM on October 7th, 2025. And the Smith Station Fire District's holding a regular meeting. The meeting is being held at Smith Station Fire District Station 1, located at 50 Lee Road, 430, Smith Station, Alabama. I'm Board Chairman Walter Cox, and recording our minutes this evening is Leslie Knox, our Department Administrator. Ms. Knox will now take roll to establish a quorum of board members.
Sharon Bones,
Present.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Present.
Treasurer Guard,
Present.
Present.
Quorum is present this evening, and I now call the meeting to order. Okay, first thing on the agenda is to, the consent agenda. Y'all seen the minutes, y'all seen the invoices. Is there any discussion y'all would like to have?
I didn't.
Okay, I
I'll
don't
make a motion to accept it.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
A motion and a second.
Sharon Bones,
Yes.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Yes.
Treasurer Guard,
Yes.
Treasurer,
Yes.
Passes unanimously, and we move on to the financial report. Treasurer Andrade.
Yes, so, statement account balances, current of September 30th. Smith Station Fire Protection District operating account stands at $657,498.87. Smith Fire and Rescue old operating account stands at $57,992.27. Wells Fargo old ambulance account stands at $27,376.40. Smith Station Fire District Protection District Firefighters Fund stands at $35,928.60. The CD, 3-month CD stands at $184,020.76. The first 6-month one stands at $185,838.39. And the next 6-month one stands at $96,602.24. A money market account stands at $250,061.03 with a total budget of $1,495,318.56.
For financial report, if anyone have any questions?
I guess we're still getting deposits into those not unused accounts or?
Yeah, so the Wells Fargo, the deposits going into their Medicare that we're trying to.
That's all.
Yeah. we're trying-
Oh, yeah, because I can see.
So we're slowly making progress, with those, so that was it 6 months ago? I think it was sometimes we were seeing an increase of that to $10,000 a month. So it's,
Yeah.
it's less and less. It's, yeah.
Gotcha. Understood.
I think,
I just didn't think they were interest bearing accounts. I figured we were still getting payments to them.
well, yes, sir, we are. The only thing I don't know if y'all saw the tables, what are y'all's thoughts on I know it's the first time we've done the kind of graphs. for
Yeah.
those. Are those beneficial more or less? What's y'all's thoughts on
I think Chris is one that wanted
that?
those.
He's the one that asked me yesterday. I did think the operating account balance, I like that one. Cause I
Yeah.
Shows.
shows us over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then The, same with the total balances.
Uh-huh.
I did, those two I like. The one, the revenue sources to me is busy.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. But I can see like fire fee, for Lee County fee.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can see when it hits, kind of tapers off kind of thing, but
Mhm. It's helpful.
I want to tailor it to what y'all expect, I guess.
It's helpful.
Well, it gives you a good visual. You know,
So, well, if y'all have a different idea on grass, please let me know and I'll make necessary adjustments. So,
All good.
Okay, next up is of course the chief's report.
do we get a motion on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Need a motion and a second on the financial
I
report.
make a motion, we accept the financial report as stated.
second,
Tanner Hall,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Blankenship,
yes.
Craig Rondo,
Yes.
and Craig.
Yes.
Okay, chief's report.
Y'all got the bulk of it. The only thing I didn't cover was the fire fee rates, and we can discuss more later. Yeah.
Okay, we heard that, we went over what was discussed with the pay scale and having the company come in and do the consulting on pay study. And, any questions, any add-tos?
I don't have anything. Like I said, I feel like it's best to be most transparent with the community and, then you've got something to fall back on when anybody has questions.
Well, the impartial consulting services, like we were talking about earlier, that's just, that just what puts it over the top.
Absolutely.
As far as that goes, and then you also getting your job descriptions and employee
Yep.
evaluations and all of that. I think it's a good direction to go. That's what we're going to do. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion with accept.
I second that motion.
That is second. That is. How do we want to word that? It's gotta be word special.
I just have it, worried to authorizing them to perform the work.
Tanner Hall,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Blankenship,
Yes.
Craig Rondo,
Yes.
Jared.
Yes.
Passes unanimous. The next thing is a hardship request. We got the three cases, two of them do. One of them does qualify based on our criteria of using the HUD. Using HUD and, two of them don't. Y'all are good with that? I need a motion in a second to.
Motion we accept it.
Second,
Tanner Hall,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Blankenship,
yes.
Craig Rondo,
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next thing up is the capital equipment purchases. First thing up is the command vehicle. We went over the details in the report here. And, it's under the budget we actually set. So we should be good there. Now, there is a question as far as, how to finance that. I'm just gonna throw something out there. We sit here and we look at the old operating accounts. One of them's got almost 58,000 in it. The other one's got 27, almost, over 27.
Go ahead and I may have something.
My thinking is, what if we were to leave $1,000 or whatever?
The minimum wage home and then,
And pull
Yeah.
that money
Yeah.
out and use it
So
for the
the
bulk of this people.
minimum on the Wells Fargo, I know is,
Okay.
yeah. I think the cleanest, maybe just to pay out of the operating, then take those, find the minimum for the old operating account. And if it's 10 as well, it may just be transfer that 47.
Whatever you can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. we're still paying for it out of
Sure.
the operating account.
Hmm.
The CD's still there drawing the interest.
Mhm.
We have the money to do it.
Well, like I said, yeah.
And it was in our budget, correct?
It was.
Doesn't touch the CDs.
Right.
I mean, so, you know,
Yeah, I can go along with that.
yeah, that, I feel like that would probably be the best way to do it.
Mhm.
But that's, you know, that's got to be made as a motion and voted on, so.
The only other, when you make the motion, I would like to, well, that part I'm not necessarily worried about, so but I would need a motion for the purchase of the vehicle. And then a motion for the installation of the accessories.
Two separate
Yes,
motions
sir.
there.
Yes, sir.
Then the third motion for the.
I'm just doing two. Yeah, I don't see a need to,
Yeah, we can transfer money,
yeah.
whatever.
I would just go with purchase.
Okay. That's the direction we're gonna go, and I need a motion to purchase the vehicle.
I motion, purchase the vehicle.
I'll second that motion.
Chair Paul,
Yes.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Yes.
Treasurer Zimmerman,
Yes.
Clerk Parsons.
Passes unanimous. Now, the next thing we need to make a motion on and get passed is the upfitting, this light, siren, radio, all the stuff that's going, well, not proving that exact dollar amount on the radio at this point, but we need to go ahead and approve the emergency light, siren, console.
Make a motion that we outfit the vehicle with the proper equipment.
A second.
Chair Paul,
Yes.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Yes.
Treasurer Zimmerman,
Yes.
Clerk Parsons.
Yes.
That passes unanimously. We got the information on the SCDOs. And they were already in the budget and planned to be purchased this year anyway. Doing it now would save $45,000. Purchase of these, 45 air packs, including 90 cylinders and 45 masks. We would save that much by going ahead and doing it, so I would need a motion to move forward with that purchase, and then we'll decide, then we'll have to do a motion on how to finance that.
What was the total process? 45,000, basically?
No.
That was what it would save us.
Oh.
Yeah, savings.
It's $441,360. For the air packs.
Yeah.
Figuring out what term we're going to go
Well,
forward.
we had that budgeted in
We did.
already, correct?
We did not the 441, but 138.
All the $4,000.
Yeah, for the down.
Was budgeted for this year.
Okay,
So next, as we continue, we'll budget whatever.
right.
To pay it off.
Sure, yeah, okay, I got you.
So, but this would need to be two separate motions as far as the financing. Within one. Okay, so the thing we're gonna have to make a decision on is, do we want to go with which company we want to go with and which term we want to go with. My personal opinion, and I'll just throw that out, is we've been using Community Leasing Partners for a lot of years, and they financed a lot of equipment, and their interest rate is lower.
Yeah, it's lower.
Yeah.
And, we've never had any issues that I'm aware of in the 13 years I've been on the board with them. And that would be my feeling, but,
So is that who we've currently been using?
That's who has done the last several roads that I know.
it's also the ones that did the last air packs and the
That's right.
Cascades this meeting.
So what would the terms be? I mean, we're doing 5,
Well,
6,
we got 5,
7.
5, 6, and 7,
I mean, if the life expectancy of those are
10 years.
10,
The
Bottle.
six with no money down is very, very close to what I had budgeted. Budgeted 88 for the annual payment.
okay,
So I mean, the 6-year term is very close.
okay.
That is a that's right, right where it needs to be as far as the payment for that. So I would need a motion to make the purchase, and which way we're gonna go with with the pay. We're gonna, which lender we're going with and which plan.
I mean, in my opinion, I say stay with community if we already have a relationship with them, but I'm kind of liking that 6 years because if that's half the life expectancy of the equipment, then you still have time to recover and rebuild to get ready for the next.
Purchase.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're almost.
Well, I mean, as we grow and expand also, so,
You're saying this one right here
yeah.
In 6
with
years.
this company here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With
This
community
one.
leasing.
Okay.
In 6 years, and you're saving almost a full percent.
Yeah, I mean, their financing at 6 years is 1% higher.
1% higher.
Let's do that.
Right, need a motion in a second to do that.
I've been there.
I make a motion that we use community leasing partners for the equipment and do the 6-year term.
Make the purchase.
5 seconds.
Have y'all, however we worded that.
Chairman Cox,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Blankenship,
Yeah.
Chairman Roddy,
Yes.
and Director Wow. I'm sorry, Kevin.
That's okay. Yes.
Sorry, I'm looking out.
Yeah, we're out of order tonight, right? You're sitting in the wrong chair. That's it. You know it.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing on here is what we didn't. So are you ready for that, Blake? You want to get the other two first?
Sorry.
Are you ready for that?
Yes, sir. So just going to refer back to the information in the chief's report, because that's where all of it is, the fire rate. So as y'all know, the district was created early in 2022. We began collecting a fee October 1, 2022. The Code of Alabama, section 11-89-7, specifically paragraph 24, authorizes the board to fix and revise from time to time reasonable rates, fees and other charges on the fire protection service. After looking at our current fee, current funding, you know, there's no doubt that the district is working as intended. I believe anybody that has received our services will tell you they are receiving, you know, more consistent service than they were in the past in a timely manner. However, we're still not answering calls, which bugs me. Now it's less than 1% is what we're not answering. Given the purchases that y'all approved tonight, the need for additional funding, for additional staff, believe it's time we look at our fees. The consumer price index indicates there's been I believe a 8.559% inflation percentage since October of 2022, when we first began collecting the fee through August of this year. So using that percentage, I talked to Beulah, I talked to East Alabama, got their latest rate increase on what it was 2022 versus now, to come up with their percentage increase. And then I also looked at Cahaba Valley. One thing I would note about Cahaba Valley, I don't believe that they are a district created under 11-89. I believe they are a district created under local legislation, which changes things significant. So they're included, but I would use that I would keep that in the back of your mind as we move through these discussions over the next several months. So I then developed an average increase. Just so we can start talking numbers. So our current annual fee amount, and I'm keeping it to single family residents, so that's the bulk of our customers. Current annual amount's $192. Increase at 8.559%, taking you $200.56 a year. And then, you know, the Beulah, Cahaba Valley, East Alabama, are listed there. If we were to increase based on the average, come up to 12.631%, taking the fee amount to $204.63. I got curious, so I came up with a 35% number, takes it to $227 even on an annual basis. That 35% in that proposed line, that percentage may change, but I'm trying to develop lines that could be consistent throughout this conversation. So that I wouldn't have to build a new spreadsheet every time we discuss something. So my opinion, I think if we do something between 8.559 and 19.318, which is the highest as East Alabama's increase since 2022. I believe that fits the definition of reasonable. However, I don't get to set the rates, y'all. Y'all have to do it. So, but I want to ensure that as we navigate this for the next 12 months, because we cannot increase until October 1, 2026, that, you know, like we just talked about transparency with the pay scale and things like that, we start having these conversations in the community. I've already started telling people, hey, we're fixing to start having these discussions at our board meeting. An increase is coming. We have to. The amount, I don't know. That's not for me to decide, but we're going to do a reasonable rate increase within the applicable parameters. So, we need to start those discussions. I personally would like to spend the better part of 12 months discussing kind of timeline I have in my head, maybe 9 months worth of discussion, looking at numbers. Last 3 months being, so kind of pound the pavement. Hey, this is what it's going to go to. This is coming. You know, we kind of beat that dead horse more or less. So people, when that increase occurs, they're not coming to us going, crap, this, I never heard about it. You know.
So are we only looking at focusing on single family residences?
We would have to.
Whatever we increase percentage wise in single family, we're doing it across the board.
Yes, sir. I just only did single family here
Okay,
so that it didn't extend the length of the document.
gotcha. I got you.
So that we could easily
Give us a,
give you an idea.
yes, sir.
So
I know I'm probably speaking prematurely. I don't think raising the rate currently, right now, is a good thing, especially with all of the purchases and the pay scale and the raises and hiring additional people. I know it makes sense, but to the public, they're probably thinking, well, hell, no wonder we gotta have it. They spend all kind of
They're
money.
spending a bunch of money.
well, I can also articulate the reason we just spent $441,000 on air packs is because we have 45 air packs that we're constantly sinking money into. And the need for life cycle replacement and you know, turnout gear, for example, we're short, you know, we're short people. We need to, this building here was built as a volunteer fire station, not a station that should be staffed 24 hours a day. So there are other significant expenses that go into the cost of operating at this type of district. And this is something we're looking at doing October 1 of 2026.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, is timing. It looked
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
It looked funny to
Yeah.
do that so close to all of these purchases that we're
Right.
making in that.
Well, we've also spent the better part now of, would be 2 years? Yeah, 2 years of, I'm not saying we're fiscally irresponsible before, but we have ended the last couple of years with a pretty significant surplus.
Mhm.
We're not wasting money. You know, we have audits to support every.
And this isn't full anymore like it was.
Unfortunately not, you know, I wish it was.
I agree. I'm just saying, but they were pissed off when they were here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like they come in here because they, you know, wanted to be at the board meeting.
Right, but we've also implemented the safeguards to,
Right.
for Mr. Randy to know that we're being good stewards of his money and we're being responsible with it. And so even I mean, I had a conversation with two gentlemen last night, I'm not gonna name their names because they're not here, but they're vocal in Lee County.
Mhm.
And, you know, if you go to a commission meeting, these two gentlemen are at every single one of them. And I talked with them for 20 minutes last night about what we're doing and how we're doing things. And it was, you know, sounds like y'all aren't in the same place you were 2 years ago. Absolutely not. You know, so I don't disagree when we make these large purchases, it can come off that, well, you just spent a bunch of money, why are you fixing the increase? But at the same time, we're still having to play catch up to where we're making that transition from volunteer, no overnight staff to,
So to piggyback on what you said, I think, we're making these purchases, but we can show the public we're making it with the current budget that we have.
Yes, sir.
And so that means we're being good stewards, right?
the biggest long-term need, in my opinion, is to renovate here.
Yep.
And then add additional staff. Ideally, we would run 4 24 hours a day out of here and 4 24 hours a day out of Station 5. We have the capability to put 2 more at Station 5.
Is that Auburn Road? Lever 240?
Yeah. So we have the bunk space, we have the capability to do that there. We don't really have the capability here. You know, one of the biggest things that I want here is I want a separation between their office and the private space of our firemen.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, if our firemen need to take a shower at the middle of the day because of a fire or whatever, you know, they walk out of the bathroom and they're staring the customer straight in the face, you know.
Oh, yeah.
An administrative area and a living.
Yeah.
area.
Just separate that public space from private.
How much surplus?
How much?
How much surplus?
Inform.
So 10% increase is $200,000 a year.
Just, yeah, rough spitball. Well, so the fire fee. You said the fire fee is 1 point. Is what we budget.
About $100,000 a year, that's, we've been budgeted at least that the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that keeps us from going back. That's the thing. What's right.
So, the other thing that along that line, you know, I can have some, and the reason I use the 192 number, not the what we actually charge number, is I kind of have some heartburn over this Lee County fee. I don't like the fact that we get credit. However, from 2036, we don't get a credit.
Yeah,
We're gonna be searching for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000.
for sure.
So I understand why we do credit. You know, so there's some that to consider as well. Just some kind of other points that I would like for us to consider as we move through these discussions over the next year. Hate to badmouth anybody, but our billing software is not conducive to fire protection billing. We thought we had the solution at Burstu. They don't have the ability to update 11,000 accounts simultaneously. You have to do it one by one. And
That's right.
That's not feasible, so that's why we backed away from them. But potentially looking at, you know, making a decision on, we're going quarterly billing.
Yeah,
We're going to offer electronic billing. One of the things I would throw out there, if we chose to do quarterly or by, you know, semi-annual billing, would be, you can still pay your bill monthly,
right.
but we're not gonna send it to you.
Right.
You know, we'll send you that bill once a quarter, every 6 months. I like the 6-month option, but, you know, there's the flexibility there. You still pay it monthly.
But we're spending a pile of money on billing.
Oh,
That's my,
that's
Mine too.
tremendous amount.
so that is money that could go towards turnout gear, air packs,
Renovation.
renovations, things like that.
Yeah,
So anyway, there's a lot to consider with this. Not just the billing rates, but our billing procedures. And I think, again, that's why I want to keep it on the agenda. I want to keep it in discussion, you know. As y'all have ideas, you know, I'm all about it. But at the end of the day, it's been 3 years it'll be 4 years by the time we actually implement this.
Right.
You know, I think trying to come up with a new rate, some type of schedule of, even if we want to do the 35%. Hey, we're gonna do a 35% increase, but we're not gonna touch it for another 3 years, 4 years, whatever. We may decide to do the 8% increase or 9%. But we're gonna do that every 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
have terms on
yes, sir, and I would leave them, I wouldn't necessarily put those in writing.
Yeah.
You know, in case the sky falls kind of thing,
it. Sure.
but kind of like some other things that we, like giving the credit. The credit is not in any of our documentation. It's a practice that we do. So, anyway, nothing more than discussion on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as that goes, do we need to table this or just leave it open at the meeting to bring any updates? Do we officially need to table it or we just?
I mean, I don't think.
Then it come back up as old business, right?
Yeah,
That'll
you know,
make-
somebody wants to, maybe a motion to, you know, discuss this over the next year and we'll leave it as old business.
Yeah. Yeah, I make a motion, we just discuss it over the next 9 to 12 months and leave it as old business on the agenda.
Do I have a second?
That's okay.
Karen Bob,
Yes.
Vice Chair Blankenship,
Yes.
Yes.
Treasurer Guardian.
Yes.
Yes.
Got excited.
Yeah. You gotta cross on that one name in there.
Okay, the next thing we discussed a little bit about was the fire district boundaries. Basically, what I guess we're looking at right at the moment would be, do we want to consider it all? And if so, do we want to allow him to start the research?
Yes.
I mean, is that area something we can service in a good response time? And
To be honest, that whole area around the four-way down there at 179.
Yeah.
During the day, it's about a 12-minute response time.
Right.
So that area that I mentioned, you might tackle another 2 minutes.
I would think so.
Why is Salem wanting to get rid of that area? Just because they're strictly volunteer?
They're wanting to quit paying Crawford. They were paying Crawford 40% of their annual budget to cover that area.
Also, it's not providing service.
Not that Crawford provided.
So they pay us.
It was a lack of, it was not consistent.
So would they be paying us if we did this?
No, if we expanded.
Those residents pay us.
Pay
fire
us,
fee.
yes, we'll take it.
The biggest thing is that's what started the conversation. What I'm looking, what I would like to do, but I want y'all's opinion, is I want to research and develop a process. So if
Sure.
John Q. Public walks in the front door and says, hey, my neighbor's in y'all's district. I'm 6 miles from the fire station in Phoenix City. It doesn't benefit me. How do I get in your district?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Here's the
Right,
process.
there's
Yeah.
we've got something established to say, hey.
Yes,
A process, yeah.
that's, but again, if it's something that y'all want, it doesn't require a motion, but
But you can do the research.
yeah, I
So-
mean.
I don't see in the harm in going ahead and researching it.
No.
I mean, do y'all?
Is
Like
everybody
I said,
good?
we're just tabling it right now.
That was another one, I want your opinion.
Yeah.
There's not really any action.
And they do have two stations already fixed there, right? In that
They've got one
area.
in that area. It would be for beyond that.
This is spitball and direct you. Taking into consideration our current rate, only 40% of them down there pay us or 30% or.
Everybody's fixing to be on.
What?
Everybody's fixing to be on.
Yep.
So, we're fixing to change that. Okay. So, but I think, I can go certain.
Every bit of that was allowance for. Unfunded.
Right, no.
Yeah.
But anyway, spitball, what you think we take it in revenue so we can start looking towards giving you what you want, which is the additional manpower.
Yeah.
I mean, as a citizen, I can go back to my community and say, hey, look what we did. We let the people,
Yeah.
they're not down there, they go to your house and sit down.
Right. I had that conversation with a gentleman today, he's like, I thought it was volunteer. I said, no, we've got,
Yes.
yeah.
Every time we have discussion, you've got 4 people there all the time extra during the day when the volunteers are.
Like,
Oh, I tell everybody.
And this guy would fall into this district.
Thing about fire. Across the street. People were down and made it burn. And there's not been but one opinion, and that's y'all did it down to the job. Everybody is done, thank you. Damn good job.
Yeah, we do. So that's how we're gonna handle that. We're just going to tell him to go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Only other thing left on the agenda is officer elections. And I'm fixing to throw y'all guys a curveball.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
again.
The end of my term is next March, into March. I don't want to, I would prefer to do this last 8 months, 7 months as a board member rather than the chair. I don't want to leave in the middle of a fiscal year, and that's when my term would end up.
Right.
So, it's not, I'm trying to get out of anything. I just want it to be a clean transition. And saying that, I'm gonna make some suggested nominations. We'll go from there. I would suggest you as the chair.
Kenny?
No,
No.
Yeah, right here.
That's been the vice.
Okay, wait a minute. You,
you didn't step up, man. I don't know.
but I would do that, and I would suggest, Chris as the vice chair, because he's been here a year and a half now.
And a good combination.
And then Andrade's doing a great job as treasurer. I mean, that's, if I could set it the way I wanted it, that would be the way I would do it. But, y'all got to discuss and decide, and I'm gonna serve until the end of my term. I'm not leaving.
Sure.
My wife thought I was. When I told her that, she actually thought I was. She said, well, if you leave, do you think I could get a job there? I said,
With this new pay scale.
I said, darling, I don't plan to leave tonight. Oh, okay. But she got all excited. And I'm like, wait a minute. So, but that's what I would like. That would be the way I would do it. Now, how we need to proceed with the vote, y'all tell me. Or does anybody
Well,
have?
they got an opinion on it.
Right, do y'all have a different idea?
I have a different opinion on it.
Walter, I'm in total agreement with you.
But that sounds like first and the second.
Well, I can make the first, it had to be.
Yeah.
It would have to be in writing. No.
He did just second and says sounds like an excellent idea.
Oh, God.
I think as far as once y'all have discussion, I think you would be okay if somebody makes a motion and there's no objection to this person is the chair, this person is the vice chair.
Yeah, right. Just say it in there and then.
I think you could do it in motion. See why you have to separate it out.
Right.
Unless there's some disagreement.
Did we have any?
He should have been here.
Do we have any,
We could make vice
Right.
chair without being here.
do we have any differences in what was suggested?
Right choice.
I don't know.
You are perfectly capable. You're
Been
every
demonstrated.
bit as capable as I was 2 years ago.
And you come up with this, let's get a consultant. That was a good idea.
That's
okay,
my first meeting here.
That's leadership.
My first meeting here, they're like, hey, by the way, we're electing tonight. My first meeting.
Right?
Hey, I do listen to the questions you ask. The things you do and watch the things you do. I don't say a lot.
I appreciate it.
I am watching. But I would feel very comfortable with your chair. And Chris will just have to learn it when he gets back that he's the vice chair.
I'm sure he won't mind.
I don't think so.
think he will. But I will need a motion and a second, if that's the way we're gonna go.
I make the motion that, make Mr. Blanket sit in the chair and Mr. Flowers the vice chair. And Mr. Andrea,
Yes, sir.
the treasurer.
And allow me to stay
And
until the end of my term.
Mhm.
you can't go.
I don't have any intention of going.
Second,
I second.
Chairman Pop,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Blankenship. He's about to abstain, aren't you?
I guess. Yeah.
Treasurer.
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously now and we'll go ahead. Randy, you have anything you want to add?
No.
Okay, and before we adjourn, I'm just gonna say, I want to tell y'all how I ended up as the treasurer for 2015 until I became the chairman. In the boardroom, Steve Lett had been the treasurer since I don't know how long before I came on in 2013, and this was 2016. And he started having to miss a lot of meetings because of work. And at the end of one of the meetings, he said, guys, I need to talk to y'all and let you know something. And he said, I'm gonna have to step down as treasurer. And I'm sitting beside him and he goes, and with that being said, I nominate Walter as treasurer. And before I could say a word, somebody on that side said, I second that. Felton Atkins just said, all in favor? You're the treasurer. Boom, just like that.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that was a position I did. I'm glad I was able to do it, but that was one.
That's the least
That was
desirable
scared me.
position.
That one
Don't ever
scared
even think about it.
me. But that being said, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we stand adjourned. Didn't mean to do that, did you?
I appreciate
Hey,
it,
I
Walt.
tried to give you a hint about last meeting before.
Oh, you told me.
When we sat in there. I started hinting.
Well, as chairman for the last time, I need your autograph.
Now,
I was effective.
November, meeting.
Oh, man.